Well, so far this homemade table saw is pretty much functional, but I still need some kind of stand for it. My stand is just a plywood box made with plywood from some shipping crates, and I cut notches to fit around the mechanism of the saw and glued some rails along the corners for screwing it together. And these just assemble like so. The slot on the front is just big enough to get my hand in there to turn the depth lock knob. When making cuts with this saw, the blade throws the sawdust through the table and comes out here, and I don't want it to come out the slot for the handle here, so I made this aluminum shield or deflector that goes in here, and that should force the sawdust to go this way and stay inside the case. It just barely fits between the case and the shims here. I haven't made a table saw insert for the saw, so there's only this narrow slot, which means the blade needs to come out like this with the depth lock mechanism disengaged. The saw was designed for 7¼ inch blades, which fit inside this guard, but since I got rid of this guard, I have room for a much larger blade, a 8¼ inch blade, and that just barely fits inside the outer guard. So with the 8¼ inch blade on the saw, I now get 68mm depth of cut, or about 2 5/8 of an inch. Now let's check the alignment. I have those rulers coming apart by about 2mm over a 40cm distance, so I should fix that. And the blade tilt is adequately square for now. On the saw, the mounting screws are about 16cm apart. So if we have 2mm over 40cm, then over 16cm we have about 0.8mm. And I made these two shims that comes about that amount from this lid here and some polyethylene, and I need to put those under here. Now if I don't want to throw out the vertical alignment, I need to add about half as much shim amount in here, because that's halfway front to back. Alright, that looks like it's aligned as best as I can tell. And the tilt, if anything, it might be leaning this way a little bit, but it's hard to tell, so I'll leave it as it is. Those came out quite nice, and we have a little bit of sawdust that landed in front of the saw. Looking okay on the inside. Let's see, we have a little bit of dust here, but these are actually fake slots. There's no air going through here, so I'm hoping that won't clog up. And looking inside the case, we have lots of sawdust everywhere except for right here, and I think that's because the shield kept throwing the dust straight on here and it kept bouncing away. There's only one thing left to do, and that is to paint the saw. Sometimes I just want to be able to pick up the saw and move it without the top coming off. So to lock it in place, I added these pins, which are actually just nails, and those hold it onto the top. I glued on some extra blocks for the nails to have a place to go into, and they're angled a little bit so that gravity will pull the nail in as opposed to out. And on the back, on mine, I have a reinforcing rail in here. So I had to go through both of those, and the stand actually fits in between these two. So this saw came out a bit heavier than my other homemade table saw, but that's beneficial because it means it stays in place much better. And if you're going to set on your saw, make sure to lower the blade first.